Just ahead on American Black Journal, the Mosaic Youth Theater of Detroit starts the new year with a major gift from a Michigan native. We'll talk about the programs that will benefit from the funding, plus details on the Sphinx Competition for Black and Latino classical musicians. Don't go away. American Black Journal starts now.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. The Mosaic Youth Theater of Detroit received an extraordinary gift last month when Broadway producer and Metro Detroit native Jeffrey Seller donated $1 million to the organization. The grant will help fund summer camp and middle school programs. Mosaic was founded 27 years ago to empower young people through the performing arts.
Extraordinary group of young ladies and gentlemen I met on my last visit to Detroit. You've taken my blues and gone. You sing them on Broadway, and you sing them in Hollywood Bowl. You mix them up with symphonies, and you fix them so they don't sound like me. Yep, you done taken my blues and gone.
Mosaic founder Rick Sperling is retiring later this year, and joining me now is the new co-leader of the organization, Executive Director Stephanie Worth. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you for having me, Stephen.
So let's start with congratulations. That is a very big gift. It was surprising to read that, and joyously surprising.
It's a thrilling gift. We were surprised to receive it, and we're very excited to have it.
Yeah. So first question. What are you going to do with the money?
What are we going to do with the money? We are going to use the money for our summer camp program and for our in-school residencies. So our summer camp serves currently about 180 youth in the summer, ages 7 through 13 or so. And then our middle school programs are in-school residencies in schools that don't have arts programs. So we're going to be able to expand those.
Yeah. Tell the viewers about Mosaic. It's one of my favorite organizations around the city. And I always say that it's this place that takes young people and turns them into stars. I feel like when I see the performances that these young people are capable of after just a short time with you guys, it is mind-blowing.
Mosaic is a magical place, is how I'm describing it. I've been there 7 months, so I'm very new to the organization internally, And what I saw from the outside is even more wonderful on the inside, because not only do we turn young people into stars if they want to be stars on Broadway or that kind of thing, but we turn them into really great global citizens. So Mosaic has theater programming, and it has vocal programming, it has summer camps, it has the in-school residencies, we have arts administration internships, we have technical theater programs because of the lack of children of color, people of color who work backstage and behind camera. So we have a really wide variety of programming, and our focus is not so much on getting folks on Broadway and on stage, but again, it's just in making them good citizens and good people
And they
of the
become
world.
different people. The confidence, I guess, that you see from children who are involved in this kind of programming really is remarkable.
Arts education does something for children that other genres may not do for children. I always tell people, you know, we teach kids how to take nothing and turn it into something. So you take, you know, a few words and you turn that into an entire production. You take some lyrics and you turn that into a wonderful concert. That translates into work skills when you grow up and get a real world job. You can take on a project and you can apply creativity and critical thinking and analysis to that particular project you've been given at work, and you can be a success in the workforce.
And this is a program that's available to anybody.
It's
correct?
open to anybody. We do have scholarships available. We try not to turn anybody away just due to cost. Some of our programs are free, some of them have costs attached, but again, you know, we don't want to see young people not be able to partake in Mosaic just because of cost.
Of cost. Back to the gift, Jeffrey Seller is the producer of Hamilton, a very popular musical that's playing on Broadway. I have seen it twice in New York already. That kind of support from somebody like that also, I think, says something about the value of Mosaic and the value of kids in this city.
Absolutely. So Jeffrey's had a relationship with Mosaic for a few years. We performed at the pub in New York City through our summer internship that some of the kids go on. He saw Mosaic, really liked Mosaic, even though he's known of Rick for many, many years. And I think we just kind of stuck with him. So Hamilton, as you know, is a very successful musical, and he has started the Seller-Lehrer Family Foundation in New York, and we were one of their first major gifts. So, and hopefully you'll see Hamilton when it comes to Detroit as well.
I guess
Mosaic
it's coming,
night.
it's coming this season to Detroit, isn't that right?
It
I
is.
gotta take my kids to see it
So
that way. Talk about where we are with providing these kinds of opportunities for kids in our city. As you mentioned, part of what you guys are doing is going into schools that don't have this kind of programming anymore and providing it. But Mosaic's been at this for a long time. Are we getting better at it? Are we opening the doors a little wider?
Well, I think we can all see that arts, for whatever reason, is generally one of the first programs cut when it comes to funding, unfortunately. So we do look at access. We look at schools that don't have programming. We look at our ability to partner in community and take some of our resources out into community, like we do with the summer camps. We're going into schools, we're trying to get kids down to our headquarters in Mosaic. But access is not only a matter sometimes of you not having art in your school. There are also schools that have art programs, but it may not be an affirming art program. It may not be a theater program that affirms you culturally. It may not be an art program that you have access to simply because of scheduling issues if you are a middle schooler or a high schooler. So there are a variety of things linked to access, and we try and be open to receiving children because of whatever their access limitations are.
Yeah, affirming. Talk a little more about what you mean when you say that.
When I say culturally affirming, you can come to Mosaic. Mosaic is a safe space. I've heard Rick talk about Mosaic as one of the first places where children who are LGBTQ felt safe, felt like they could come and they could use their voice and they could be safe. We take you, it's kind of come as you are. We welcome you as you are. We have rules, we have discipline, but that's okay. Use your voice, find a way to express yourself, find the means that makes you feel like the most whole person you can be. And to do that within a culturally sensitive environment as well is very meaningful to children. They want to be recognized for who they are.
And that sort of gets back to this idea of the confidence that I think I
Absolutely.
perceive from all of the kids I run into who are involved in Mosaic. As I said in the open, there's a leadership turn taking place
Yes.
at Mosaic. Tell us a little about your background and how you come to the organization.
It's an exciting time at Mosaic. A little heady because Rick has been there for 27 years.
That's right.
So
People think Mosaic is Rick's
is
Berlin,
Rick.
right?
So Delisha Strotter is I'm joined at the hip with her. She is the artistic director. So she's over programming and the artistic side. I'm looking at things like strategic plan and fundraising and marketing and those pieces, but they are heavily intertwined. So you can't do one without the other. So we are also looking at Mosaic's next 27 years, looking at maybe integrating more technology. How can we be more efficient? How do we reach more children with limited resources? Certainly this $1 million is a huge gift, but it is a limited gift. Just to 2 of our programs, it's kind of metered out over the next 5 years. Sometimes people think we're sitting at the table throwing dollar bills up into the air. That's not quite the
Not
case
quite,
right
yeah.
now. And almost all funders want to give you limited funding and for you to find a way to stand on your own 2 feet. So this is our opportunity to do that at Mosaic and take this leadership turn and see where we can go into the future.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
excited.
congratulations on the changeover, the leadership changeover, and big congratulations again on the gift.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank
you.
you for being here. All right, just ahead, we're going to talk about how the Sphinx organization is opening doors for young classical musicians of color. But first, we continue our look back at this program over the last 50 years. Here's a 1980 Detroit Black Journal conversation with the founder of the Dance Theater of Harlem, Arthur Mitchell.
If one looks in what we call primitive or ethnic societies, dance and theater were an integral part of their daily lives. There were always the particular rites, the planting, the harvest. Everything was done through theater, but that was a normal thing for them.
Why were those things done through dance?
Well, because movement is, you see, what one word may mean to me may mean something totally different to you, but we all can understand a gesture. You see, if I say, come here, you see, and I may not speak your language, but that if I do this, you understand all over the world. That means come here. Or no means no, or yes means yes. It's universal. You then start dealing with universal languages.
So dance is a form of communication.
Exactly right. That's what the arts are, really, but then dance is one form of it. And then you have those who would like to say which is first, singing, acting, movement. I say dance because even before a child is born in the womb, it kicks, and kicking is movement, so you're dancing.
Yes. The Dance Theater of Harlem was formed in 1968 by yourself, and at a time when black youth was interested in finding many things, the usual things, jobs and such. You elected to teach them dance, and not only dance, but classical dance. Why?
Well, because even the problems that we're discussing that were there prevalent then are still prevalent now. This summer, you're going to see thousands and thousands and thousands of youngsters without any jobs. And what happens is that there's a tremendous sense of frustration. That frustration must be vented on something. And what better way than to put it into something constructive as the arts? You will then end up beating your body rather than somebody else, and then you'll be improving. It's using the craft or the art form in a constructive way to help build better, disciplined human beings. And the other thing is that dance, you cannot be undisciplined and be a dancer. You're not going to stick a needle in your arm when your instrument is your body.
Young Black and Latino classical string players will compete in the 22nd annual Sphinx Competition in early February. The Detroit-based Sphinx organization was founded to transform lives through the power of diversity in the arts. I'm pleased to have a Sphinx alumna here today for a special performance. Here is Anita Dumar. That was really great. And joining me now from the Sphinx organization is Lauren McNeary, Manager of Institutional Partnerships. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So let's start with just a basic rundown of what Sphinx is and what it does and what it's been doing for a really long time in this community.
Yes, so as you mentioned earlier, we're entering our 22nd year of having programming here in Detroit and across the nation. And our mission is to transform lives through the power of diversity in the arts, which is really broad, but if you break it down, our mission positions us at the intersection of social justice and the performing arts. When we first started, American orchestras, Black and Latinx musicians, only represented about 1.5% of the musicians in major orchestras across America. Today, we represent about 4% of musicians within major orchestras. So still a lot of work to do, but major headway.
Yeah, I mean, that difference is really remarkable. And I think anybody who knows much about professional musicianship and symphonies and that sort of thing will say that Sphinx has played a really critical role in moving those numbers. That's not coincidence.
Yes, we are really the only arts organization that works and has the breadth of work where we are pushing diversity and pushing inclusion. Most recently, we had a partnership form with the League of American Orchestras and the New World Symphony, where we work with orchestras across the country and musicians to help better prepare Black and Latinx musicians for the audition process with major orchestras. A lot of those musicians are alumni of the Sphinx Competition as well, so it's really great.
Yeah. And we're joined now by Anita, who gave us that wonderful performance. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Tell us what you're doing now, and tell us how you got started with Sphinx.
So currently I am in my first year of graduate studies at the University of Michigan. I'm studying actually with a Sphinx alum, Professor Danielle Bellin. I did my undergrad at University of Michigan with her as well. And pretty much the very first thing that she did when I arrived in the fall of 2014 was to introduce me to Sphinx. And the very first year I worked with the Sphinx Connect program that runs concurrently with the competition. And every year from then on out, I had some kind of involvement. I was a semifinalist the last 2 years. And the year before that, I was in the orchestra, so I honestly can't imagine my life without Sphinx at this point. Yeah. I also have a quartet of diverse musicians like myself, the Avalos Quartet. We love doing outreach, community engagement stuff with Sphinx and different in engagements like that. So.
Yeah. How did you get started on the violin?
So I started when I was 4 years old. I was really inspired by my mom. When I was 3, actually, I begged her to start, and she thought I was a little too young. So what I did was I took books and combs and plates and forks and just pretended to play
they
for
were
a year.
Violins, right?
I had to prove for a year that I really wanted to play.
That you were really interested.
Yeah,
right?
and ever since then, it's been my life. So,
yeah. At what point did you decide that this was what you wanted to do and B, that this was going to shape your professional life?
I am struggling to remember a time where I wasn't thinking that I was going to.
Really?
I might have had a few interests here and there, but pretty much I knew I was going straight for some kind of musical career, something with the violin. And I've really found my passion in this quartet with the chamber music. And I really think that as a group, we owe it to Sphinx because they helped us really realize the importance of representation. And it's not something that can be taken lightly in any field, but especially a field where you see so few people that look like us playing in the professional circles.
Yeah. Talk a little about how that feels, that sort of pressure from the lack of diversity that you probably encounter every day at school or performing.
Well, I know personally, every time I perform, I feel like I'm representing all musicians of color sometimes. That's a pressure I put on myself, just that initiatives like Sphinx, I feel like I need to prove that they are important and that they are really necessary. And I think I've had to tell myself that at the end of the day you are making music, and to draw people to want to have a career in classical musician, whether it be like other young students of color or otherwise. It's really important to just focus on the music.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the barriers that still exist to more people like Anita being able to sort of get the opportunity to play. Talk about how Sphinx is sort of attacking that head on.
Yes, well, it really just starts with the Sphinx competition. The main goal of that competition is to identify musicians of color and provide them with a platform to showcase their artistry. Additionally, the competition helps us to build a network and a community of musicians and to provide them with mentorship opportunities and performance opportunities year-round, and that has led to scholarships. It has led to placement in summer programs, and most recently it has led to the evolution of our national convening Sphinx Connect, which brings in over 600 people from around the world who work in the arts on every level. And so it's really expanded our horizons and put our musicians on the map and let people know that, hey, we're here and we would love to be a part of your orchestra and help you be representative of the communities that you're in.
Yeah, we talked about the progress that you're making with symphony orchestras around the country. Is that also being reflected in the number of young people you see coming through your doors, I guess, at Sphinx?
Yes, so we have a great breadth of programming starting from introductory violin on to career grants. And I can say our introductory violin program, Overture, has a wait list consistently. It's always full, which is really sad in a way because we never want to turn anyone away, but it's great to see that there's interest out there. And so our partnerships with the DSO and our partnerships with DTE Energy Foundation, who's actually presenting the competition, really help us to mind the gap and look at new ways that we can make sure we're reaching everyone.
Yeah, yeah. So Anita, what's next for you? What career do you think awaits you after your studies?
Well, currently the hope is that I could continue in with this chamber group that I have. We find a lot of fulfillment in that. We have actually done a few performances for the Overture program and things like that. I think that will always continue to be a part of our careers, whatever capacity that might take. But I think we have all found each other, and I don't think we ever thought that we'd be playing with 3 other musicians of color in a
Very
professional.
unusual, right?
Yeah, but it really is a very special thing that I'm grateful for. So.
Yeah. Well, and given the changes in the industry, the shrinking of symphonies, things like that, having the opportunity to have your own thing is pretty important as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, congratulations, and thanks for being here on American Black Journal.
Thanks
for having us.
Yeah. You can see live stream coverage of the Sphinx Conference and Finals Concert at dptv.org. That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. You can go to AmericanBlackJournal.org to get more information on our guests and to check out a calendar of events. Plus, you can always connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
As American Black Journal looks ahead at the next 50 years, we want to hear from you, the viewers. Tell us what you think of this program and what you'd like to see on future episodes. Visit AmericanBlackJournal.org to take a quick survey and share your opinion. Thank you.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.